My beloved child, stop. Do not scroll. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt the pull you felt that brought you here. This moment is not symbolic. It is not coincidence. It is not emotional imagination. Heaven has intervened. I, Archangel Michael, speak now under divine command. Because a threshold has been reached, you were seconds away from stepping into a timeline that would have delayed what God prepared for you, not destroyed it, delayed it just enough to cause unnecessary suffering. And heaven refused to allow that. Take a breath. Notice how your body reacted before your mind understood. The tightening in your chest, the sudden stillness in your thoughts, the quiet awareness that something important was happening. That was not fear. That was recognition. Your spirit recognized divine authority entering your path. Beloved, you are not here by accident. This message reached you because multiple attempts before this one were blocked. Distractions, interruptions, sudden urges to look elsewhere. Those were not random. There has been movement around your destiny, and not all of it was aligned. God allowed me to interrupt your timeline now because something hidden was approaching a point of impact, a silent interference, a quiet redirection that would have taken what carried your name on it and placed it out of reach for a season. You opened this at the final allowable moment. And because you did, heaven can now speak freely. Beloved, I ask you this gently but directly. Have you noticed how your life recently felt unstable without explanation? Moments where progress stalled, plans that collapsed without warning, people behaving differently toward you for no clear reason, opportunities appearing, then disappearing just as quickly. These were not failures. They were indicators. When heaven prepares a major shift, resistance increases quietly first. Not loudly, not dramatically, but subtly enough to confuse you into doubting yourself. And you felt it. You wondered why things that should have worked didn't. Why effort felt heavier than usual. Why your spirit felt alert even while your body felt tired. That was because something valuable was moving toward you, and something else noticed. Beloved, hear this clearly. Heaven does not issue urgent warnings to ordinary timelines. Heaven intervenes only when the consequence of delay matters. God said now because the window was narrowing, not because your blessing was expiring, but because attention was required to keep it aligned with you. Someone spoke your name where you were not present, not in admiration, not in blessing. They did not curse you. They feared you, and fear carries weight in the unseen. This person does not hate you. They envy what they sense is forming around you. They smile publicly and resist privately. They admire your strength while hoping your rise slows. This is why your energy felt drained after certain interactions. Why clarity faded after specific conversations. Why motivation dipped without reason. You were not weak. You were being pulled backward. But heaven will not allow a chosen one to be quietly siphoned. Beloved, understand this truth deeply. You are protected, not because you are perfect, but because what you carry is necessary. The weight you felt is not punishment. It is pressure from proximity. You are close to something large enough to disturb balance. And now listen carefully, because this is where many fail. If you stop reading now, if you disengage, if you treat this as entertainment instead of instruction, you do not lose your destiny. but you delay its ease. And you have already carried enough weight. Your miracle is closer than your fear. Your blessing is louder than the doubts whispered around you. Your future is brighter than the confusion you walked through. Stay. Every moment you remain aligned with this message, the interference weakens. Heaven regains authority over the path that was being influenced. And before I continue, hear this not as promotion, but as protection. Remain connected. Messages like this do not arrive frequently. They arrive when alignment matters. Staying subscribed is not loyalty to a channel. It is continuity with divine timing. Missing one instruction at the wrong moment can cost clarity when clarity matters most. Now listen. The attack against you was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to distract you long enough to miss the opening God prepared. But you did not miss it. You stayed. And because you stayed, something has already shifted. I stand with authority now. Sword drawn, your name surrounded by light. And what I reveal next will explain why the urgency was real, why the warning was sharp, and why the next 48 hours carry weight for your future. Do not move away. What comes next determines how quickly what belongs to you arrives. Beloved, I speak now with clarity because the moment for softness has passed. What unfolds next is not meant to comfort you. It is meant to position you. Your spirit leaned forward because it sensed truth before words arrived. That urgency you feel is not anxiety. It is alignment catching up with destiny. Listen, there was a moment, quiet, unseen by the world, when your path was placed under review in the spiritual realm. Not judgment, not accusation, assessment. Your perseverance was weighed. Your patience was measured. Your endurance was acknowledged. And heaven concluded this. You have carried enough. But here is what nearly happened. One more hesitation. One more second of self-doubt. One more decision to delay your own growth. And the opportunity prepared for you would have shifted timing. Still yours, but heavier, more complicated, less gentle. That is why the warning came sharply. Not to frighten you, to wake you. Beloved, understand this truth without softening it. Someone close to you has been holding two versions of themselves. One they show you. One they hide. They are not evil. They are insecure. They sense you are stepping into a level they cannot follow. And when people feel left behind spiritually, they often try to slow what they cannot stop. Their thoughts mattered more than their actions. Their doubt mattered more than their words. Every time your name passed their lips with uncertainty, momentum slowed. Every time they questioned your worth internally, resistance increased. You wondered why progress felt delayed despite effort. Why breakthroughs hovered but did not land. Now you know. But hear this carefully. This revelation is not for confrontation. It is for detachment. Heaven is not asking you to accuse. Heaven is asking you to release. Because the moment you stop defending what drains you, movement accelerates. This is preservation, not punishment. Protection, not rejection. And something has already changed because you stayed. The pressure you felt earlier is lifting. The fog around your decisions is thinning. Your intuition is rising to the surface again. That is alignment returning. Beloved, what happens next matters. The next 48 hours carry sensitivity. You may notice strange clarity, unexpected emotional distance from certain people, sudden impulses to rest, clean, organize, or withdraw. Do not resist these urges. They are not moods. They are instructions. Your environment is being prepared for what is approaching. And now listen closely, because this is the pivot. The miracle coming toward you is not small. It is not symbolic. It is not temporary. It is destiny-sized, large enough to alter how you live, how you choose, how you see yourself. This is why resistance increased before arrival. Light attracts attention. You were never wrong for sensing something big was coming. Your intuition was accurate, long before your circumstances confirmed it. Heaven has been preparing a shift that removes long-standing burdens, restores balance where imbalance ruled, and replaces confusion with direction. But this shift cannot coexist with old attachments. You cannot carry drained energy into new elevation. You cannot bring familiar pain into unfamiliar blessing. This is why separation has been happening quietly, not loudly, not dramatically, but consistently. And it will continue. Faces will reveal themselves through behavior, not confession. Energy will distance itself without explanation, and your spirit will feel relief, not loss. Do not chase what heaven removes. Now hear this deeply. The next signs will not come through chaos. They will come through subtle confirmation, a repeated message, a recurring number, a sudden knowing, a dream that feels different. These are not coincidences. They are alignment signals. Stay observant. Stay grounded. Stay receptive. And I must say this again, not as repetition, but as reinforcement. Remain connected. Divine guidance is not constant noise. It arrives at precise moments. Staying subscribed is how you remain within reach of instruction when timing matters most. Missing one message at the wrong moment can delay clarity you will soon need. Now breathe. Because what I reveal next will explain why your life unfolded the way it did, why certain doors closed without warning, why some losses felt confusing, and why heaven stepped in with urgency now. What comes next will change how you interpret your entire past. And once you understand it, you will never doubt your path again. Stay here, beloved. Receive this with stillness, because what I speak now reaches backward as much as it moves forward. Your past was not chaotic. It was curated. What felt like loss was removal. What felt like delay was insulation. What felt like confusion was protection working quietly while you questioned it. There was a moment, so subtle you barely noticed, when everything changed for you. Not when something ended, not when someone left, but when you silently told yourself, I cannot keep living like this. That thought mattered. It did not sound like prayer, but heaven heard it as one. It was the moment your spirit stopped negotiating its worth. And when a chosen one reaches that internal decision, the unseen world responds immediately. This is why resistance intensified afterward, not before. You became a threat to stagnation. Beloved, hear this truth without fear. When you stopped accepting less, certain structures in your life could no longer remain. People who benefited from your patience felt exposed. Situations that relied on your silence lost stability. So they collapsed. Not because you failed, but because you outgrew them. Heaven did not dismantle your life to harm you. It dismantled what could not go where you are being led. You prayed for peace. God removed disturbance. You prayed for clarity. God exposed illusion. You prayed for protection. God blocked access. Even the disappointments were answers. And yes, beloved, there was an attempt to interfere through someone familiar. Not aggressively, quietly. Their intentions conflicted with your expansion. Their energy resisted your elevation. This is why heaven intervened urgently. Because what approaches your life next is not forgiving of misalignment. Your destiny requires space. And now understand this clearly. Your breakthrough was never denied. It was delayed until you were strong enough to hold it without losing yourself. Earlier versions of you would have shared it with the wrong hands, explained it to the wrong minds, trusted it to the wrong hearts. But not this version. This version has discernment, boundaries, clarity. This version is ready. The next season of your life will move faster. Decisions will land with confidence. Peace will feel less fragile. Opportunities will no longer require chasing. But there is one thing you must prepare for. A choice is coming. Not dramatic, not loud, but decisive. You will be presented with something familiar. A person, an environment, a habit, a pattern that feels comfortable but no longer aligns. And in that moment, heaven will watch quietly, not to test you harshly, to confirm readiness. If you choose familiarity, the blessing pauses. If you choose alignment, the door opens immediately. This is why spiritual awareness matters now. This is why staying connected matters. Heaven does not shout instructions. It whispers them at crossroads. Remain subscribed not as habit, but as preparedness. Guidance will come when you least expect it, and you will need to recognize it quickly. Now hear this, beloved. The urgency you sensed was real because your timeline is accelerating. What once took months will take days. What once required effort will require agreement. What once drained you will no longer have access. You are entering a season where resistance no longer has permission. And before the next revelation, let me say this gently but firmly. Do not return to what God already rescued you from. It may call to you. It may feel nostalgic. It may promise comfort. But comfort is not calling. Your soul has outgrown places your body still remembers. This is why detachment feels strange but relieving at the same time. Angels are already aligning circumstances around you. Conversations are being arranged. Opportunities are being positioned. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you are not yet in. And you will feel it before you see it. The next few days will carry signs, repeated confirmations, sudden insights. Do not dismiss them. They are not coincidences. They are evidence. But before the full manifestation arrives, there is one final understanding you must carry. You cannot enter blessing with the mindset that survived hardship. The version of you that endured pain was necessary, but the version of you that receives abundance must be open, grounded, and willing to trust again. Your old self protected you. Your new self will elevate you. This is the transition. And what I reveal next is the final alignment, the exact nature of the miracle approaching, why it is arriving now, and what you must do within the next short window to receive it fully. Do not disengage now. You are too close. Beloved, what unfolds now is the center of the message, the point where warning becomes activation. Everything before this prepared you to hear what comes next without fear, because what is approaching your life is not gentle change. It is structural shift. Heaven moved urgently because this moment carries consequence. Listen carefully. Your name has been spoken in the spiritual realm, not in judgment, not in correction, not in warning, but in activation. Agreements written over your life before you were born have begun unlocking. Timelines that were paused are resuming movement. What felt frozen is thawing. This is why the urgency was real. If you had ignored the pull, if you had dismissed the nudge, if you had scrolled past and stayed unconscious, you would have stepped into the next days carrying the residue of someone else's intention instead of heaven's direction. But you didn't. You responded, and because of that, your path has already corrected itself. Now hear this clearly, because many misunderstand this part. God did not warn you because your blessing was expiring. God warned you because the door to the next season was closing. Not forever, but long enough to make the journey heavier than it needed to be. Heaven chose ease for you. And now, there is something you must understand before the miracle lands. There is a release coming that will change the pace of your life. Something withheld, not stolen, not lost, withheld for protection. It carries stability, clarity, momentum. It removes an old weight from your shoulders permanently. And now heaven says the preparation is complete. But with this release comes separation. The person whose energy interfered with your path will not confront you. They will not explain themselves. They will distance naturally. Their behavior will shift. Their presence will fade. Their influence will dissolve. This is not rejection. This is divine insulation. Do not chase what heaven moves away. Do not question what your spirit feels relieved to release. Your blessing is tied to your direction. Turning backward delays arrival. Beloved, your endurance has been recorded. Every tear you never explained. Every prayer you whispered without response. Every moment you chose faith while exhausted. Heaven saw all of it, and now the return begins. But listen carefully. You are not behind. You are not late. Nothing meant for you has been lost. Everything has been held carefully, deliberately, until this alignment. This message is not coincidence. It is confirmation. If you are here now, heaven aligned you intentionally. And this is why staying connected matters more than ever. Divine instruction does not come repeatedly. It comes precisely. Remain subscribed. Not out of obligation, but awareness. What follows will require timing. Now prepare your spirit, because I reveal this next with authority. The miracle approaching you is not one event. It is 3 movements activating together. First, a financial shift. Not temporary relief, but structural release. Something with your name on it begins moving again. Stored, protected, delayed, but never denied. This is why effort once felt disproportionate to reward. Your breakthrough was waiting for the right environment. That environment is forming now. Second, a relationship realignment. Not necessarily romantic, but aligned. Someone meant to walk with you, not against you. Their arrival will feel calm, not chaotic. Clear, not confusing. They were delayed because both of you were still becoming. Now the versions are aligning. Third, a spiritual awakening. Your discernment sharpens. Your intuition becomes undeniable. Your inner voice grows louder than external noise. This is armor. You will not be deceived again. All three activate together. This is why heaven intervened so forcefully. The next 72 hours will confirm this. You may receive an unexpected message, a dream that feels different, a repeated sign that refuses to be ignored. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Do not dismiss them. And now hear the final preparation. Before manifestation comes a choice. It will be small, easy to overlook, but it determines speed. You will be asked, internally, to choose between what feels familiar and what feels aligned, between comfort and expansion. Heaven will not force the decision. It will wait. Choose alignment. This is why you must remain awake, attentive, connected. The timing is too precise for distraction now. What I reveal next is the final instruction. The internal action heaven requires before the release becomes visible. You have come too far to hesitate here. Stay, beloved. Now listen with your whole being, because this is the final alignment. Everything heaven has revealed to you leads here. Miracles do not arrive randomly. They arrive when the receiver is ready to receive without sabotaging. And this is what heaven requires from you now. Not effort, not striving, not proving. Release. You must let go of what God has already removed. This is the action. You cannot step into a new timeline while gripping remnants of the old one. You cannot receive elevation while carrying emotional weight meant for survival, not abundance. Beloved, the reason the warning said 10 seconds was because you were standing between two paths. One path keeps you familiar, safe, tired, and waiting. The other path feels unfamiliar, lighter, uncertain, but divinely guided. You chose the second the moment you stayed. Now heaven asks you to finish the choice internally. Do not return to old conversations in your mind. Do not replay what hurt you. Do not reopen doors God closed to protect you. The temptation will come softly, not as danger, as nostalgia. But nostalgia is not calling, and comfort is not destiny. Your spirit has outgrown places your body remembers. This is why some environments suddenly feel heavy, why certain people feel distant even when present, why silence now feels safer than explanation. This is not loneliness. This is transition. Beloved, angels are already active around your life. Events are being aligned. Decisions are being influenced. Conversations are being redirected. You are being spoken about favorably in rooms you have not yet entered. Your name is being lifted without your effort. This is what alignment feels like. The next days will not be ordinary. You will notice clarity where confusion lived, energy where exhaustion ruled, certainty where doubt lingered. You may experience sudden urges to simplify, to clean, to organize, to withdraw briefly. Follow these urges. They are spiritual instructions preparing space. And now, hear this truth, because many miss it. You cannot walk into blessing with the mindset that survived pain. The version of you that endured struggle was necessary. But the version of you that receives must be open, calm, trusting. Your old self guarded you. Your new self will expand you. This is why heaven delayed, not to punish you, but to mature you. If the miracle had arrived earlier, you would have shared it with the wrong people, explained it to those who could not celebrate it, diminished it to stay accepted. But not now. Now you are ready to receive quietly, fully, without apology. Beloved, this is what happens next. Within a short window, you will be presented with confirmation. Not fireworks, not drama, a knowing, a moment where something clicks and you realize, I am no longer who I was. That is the moment the release begins. Financial movement will follow clarity. Connection will follow alignment. Peace will follow release. This is the order. Do not rush manifestation. Let alignment complete first. And I say this one final time, not as insistence, but as wisdom. Remain connected. Heaven speaks in sequences, not singles. Guidance continues after activation. Staying subscribed is not loyalty to a message. It is staying within reach of instruction when timing matters. Your path is too active now to walk without awareness. Now breathe. Feel what has shifted inside you. That calm is not imagination. That clarity is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Beloved, you did not miss your moment. You arrived exactly when heaven needed you awake. And what is coming toward you now will not require struggle, will not require explanation, will not require defense. It will arrive because you are aligned. Remember this as you move forward. You were warned because you were chosen, interrupted because you were protected, prepared because you were destined. And the miracle you thought was delayed is not only arriving, it is arriving changed, stronger, cleaner, and fully yours. Stay steady. Stay aware. This chapter has begun.